I don't know how to do it.
You got it. What do you think? Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're Ryan and Skylar. Right now we're turning an old garage into a recording studio, but someday soon we'll be building our dream home here in the Adirondack Mountains of New York State.
Luckily, our pups Pearl and Cowboy are here to help.
This is going great today. This door is not going in at all. It doesn't even seem to be the right size. Long story short is I painted the wrong door. I don't know why, I just grabbed one and not the other, just assumed it was it. So a long week was getting even longer, and now all I get is this high-pitched buzzing sound. So, you know, thoughts and prayers, wish me luck here. So we basically have 4 things to do over the next couple of days before we get the ceiling spray foamed. And that is to clear out this whole room behind me. We have to put up foam blocking in the soffits and the eaves, so the spray foam goes just up to that point, not farther. We have to fur out all these rafters up here, so there's more room for 6.5 inches of spray foam. And what is the last thing we have to do? Oh yeah, I have to run electrical. I have to run wires for the ceiling lights and ceiling fans before everything gets spray foamed in. So that's what we're working on over the next couple of days. Okay, so backing up a little bit, we moved into this old house like 1.5 years ago. It had this garage with quite a high ceiling, so we expanded it to create a big live room for our recording studio.
We poured concrete, we framed up the walls and put the roof on. And now part of what we're working on is taking this smaller carport area and turning it into the studio's control room.
The concrete here was in really bad shape, so we didn't want to build on top of it. So we broke it all apart with sledgehammers and moved it by hand.
Around this time, we got our new puppy Cowboy, which didn't make things any less crazy around here.
We had to leave the old concrete under this load-bearing wall, but we dug out underneath to create footers to support the point loads. We dug out the area for the new pad, and then because it's so hard to get a smaller load of gravel delivered where we live, and because where else were we going to put it, we took the old concrete, broke it up, and used that as a stable sub-base under the new pad. We filled in the cracks with sand and tamped everything down. Things were so crazy this week after getting Cowboy that we didn't even have the steel by the morning of the concrete pour. It was a mad rush to get it all in and tied off, but somehow we did before the concrete truck arrived. Thankfully, we had help pushing the concrete around, but I screeded the whole thing solo with an 8-foot screed, and I would not do that again.
So that brings us up to date with where we started filming this week.
We get a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and I was super stoked to get this full set of 6-foot, 8-foot, and 12-foot step ladders for an awesome price. We wanted to finish painting the sliding panel in this door so we could get it out of the live room. Of course, we didn't know we grabbed the wrong door, but here we are getting it ready for paint anyway. We cleaned it up real good and tried to take the handle off, but it just wouldn't come. Oh, it's not working. Sometimes when the going gets tough, it's okay just to give up.
We moved on to taping and masking off the glass. We realized we were out of both tape and paint, so Ryan took off to the next town to get some.
Never a bad idea to stock up on this stuff, I think. Interesting tidbit about where we live. There used to be a Lowe's, like fairly close, but now it's Ghost Lowe's. Anyway, got a little something for the kids while I was out. A little something for mom and dad. Now that we're building stuff, I'm always checking out buildings, new and old, out on the road. Anyway, we got back to it, finished up taping. It's hard to work when you're on camera. That's good.
Nice. Then we cleaned it up really good for paint.
It's all black now. While that dried, we worked on taking the forms off our concrete pad.
I don't know how to do it.
All right. Steady the thing right here with one hand, and then just keep it straight on there, and then you start out a little light. Then you kind of got to keep some pressure holding it in there as it comes out. You got it. What do you think? Can you do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, try the next one.
Okay.
Good. Great. Yeah, you're keeping it straight and everything. It's perfect.
Okay.
Alright, stop it for 1 second. When I'm taking things apart, I have this little belt. It's just a little pouch, and you just put it on and collect my screws in there, and we can reuse them and stuff. Doesn't have to be the huge tool belt.
Nice.
I think some of these stakes and things are buried by dirt so much that I think I got to get a shovel and dig a little bit of this out of the way first.
Okay.
Let's do that. That's fun. Alright, that might be good. What do you think?
Looks good to me.
That good, Barry? Oh, that was a lot harder than I thought. There we go. That was satisfying. Alright, how's that edge look? Oh, there it goes.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, really did come out smooth. We kind of jiggled it a lot. I was tapping the edge of the form with a hammer to kind of get all the air bubbles out. That looks nice and clean. Happy with that. You can see over here how we had to tie it into this piece in the corner that was already poured. Came out pretty good. We're happy with it. I've heard folks say that construction is 90% moving materials around the job site. So far, this has been pretty true. In order to get the ceiling spray foamed, we needed to know where the perimeter of the room actually was, so we needed to put down these bottom plates.
This anchor bolt wasn't quite in the right place.
Ah, that didn't work.
What happened?
It's split completely.
Oh,
Take that out. We'll try something else. This is going great today.
Oh, man.
That's my one hammer.
Oh, no.
See if this goes any better. Alright, today is a new day. I've got a beautiful plain old hickory hammer. I'm going to take some preventative measures and I'm going to wrap just below the head with tape like this. Like that. Like so many other things on the build, we couldn't finish that bottom plate until we did something else first, which was take down this wall and disassemble it. It was in the wrong place.
It was spooky season around this time, so we had to take a little break from work and check out this awesome haunted house in our town. Oh.
The next day, we added top plates with the help of a laser level. Alright, you're probably good.
Monsters!
It was too bright out during the day to use the laser level in the carport area, So we had a midnight laser level party out here in the dark. So we need to put this little block of wood down here so the laser level has something to sit on. The cool thing is it goes straight up to the ceiling, and we can see where we need to put our top plate across there. But we won't be able to see that tomorrow when we're working, so I'm going to go up there and mark it with Sharpie. I don't even know if this is really necessary, but as long as we're out here, I'll just mark along here, kind of a straight line from this bottom plate all the way to that post there, which is low enough that I just mark it here. Are you ready for this super satisfying unmasking experience? Yeah, it's beautiful, right? So why were we even painting a sliding glass door in the first place? Well, even a cheap black sliding glass door is astronomically expensive. We got a pair of these doors used for $100 on Marketplace. This looks about where we realize something might be wrong with the door. Assume the side that you put the key into would be the outside, right?
No idea, I'm sorry.
Okay, so long story short is I painted the wrong door. I had two sets of used sliding glass doors lying around, and I don't know why I just grabbed one and not the other, just assumed it was it. I don't know, there's so much junk in here that I was just getting pretty confused, I guess. I didn't even want the other sliding glass door black. It's gonna go on the inside of the studio. I just wanted it white. Anyway, I'm just gonna get right back on the horse, clean up the correct sliding glass door, mask it off, paint it real quick, get it installed in the next couple of days, and be done with it. So the second door is masked and painted with one coat. It's cold and rainy today, and I think some imperfections are developing, but I'll just sand them down a little bit after this coat dries and hit it with one more coat, and it'll be fine. That went better than I thought it would. For now, we used the other door to temporarily block off this weird corner of the room. We basically stored stuff in there so it wouldn't be covered in dripping spray foam from the ceiling. We finally started to make progress clearing out the studio.
I worked on the soffit blocking.
Okay.
That's good. And I went looking for material to fur out the rafters so there would be more room in the ceiling for spray foam. Luckily, a few years ago, we had taken apart a ton of shelving that my parents had made out of 2x2 lumber. This was the perfect amount to add to the rafters, and it cut down on a lot of extra work and a lot of extra materials we didn't have to buy. Again, there were always so many lingering things to take care of before we could get to the next step that we actually wanted to get to. This is an old beam that was still up in the ceiling from when the studio was half the length it is now. Furring out the rafters took a while, but it was pretty easy to do. I don't know. Well, it's another day. I only work for a couple hours, and I'm not a construction worker. I don't like climbing up and down that ladder all day, so I'm just gonna chip away at this a little bit each day. It's 47 degrees. I got some hot chocolate here, so do a little more. See my breath? Yeah, it's not warm out. Anyway, get back to it. I will stand so tall for who I love, for who I've lost. Oh, I will fight. No matter. Today I'm finishing up the foam blocking up here on the high wall of the studio. Skylar did all the rest on the lower section, but this requires getting up on this ladder probably 16, 17, 18 feet in the air from the ground and putting them in up there. So I'm going to tackle it. I got a few done so far. It's going pretty well. Let's get to it. So I position the ladder so I can get to 2 of them, maybe 3 if I'm lucky. And then I just got to go up there and measure them. Luckily, this is the new framing that I did over here, so they're all pretty much 14.5 wide, but as we get down the way, I'm sure I'll be cutting them different each and every one. Last 3. Not super fun, but it's fun now. I really don't want to do anything today. It's really gloomy out and I don't know, 36 degrees, but I have to at least look at the electrical up here, see how I want to get it in, because spray foam has got to be coming any day now. Hopefully all this math tells me where my lights are going to be located on the ceiling. We'll see. Okay, so mathematical error number 1. I want to put 3 lights along each side of the beam, and
To find out the spacing, I divided the length of the room by 3 and noticed that I only made 2 marks. So apparently, if you want 3 lights, you're gonna have to divide the room by 4 to find the spacing. I think anyway, we'll try that next. Alright, I fixed those marks. I got one side done. My hands are numb. It is cold out here. I just want to be done for the day. I'm gonna try to power through and get the other side marked out. Well, I was already to quit because my hands are cold and it's almost 4:30. But I just got a text from the spray foam contractor and he wants to come tomorrow. So we have to finish all this electrical up in the ceiling and get everything cleaned out. And anyway, we're really excited, but now we're like in all-nighter territory because we kind of procrastinated. And anyway, like I said, we're excited, so we're gonna do it. So you might notice this is super heavy gauge, 10 gauge wire. It's kind of overkill for our 20 amp circuit. But when we had our wedding, I ran a temporary outdoor outlet with this heavy duty 10 gauge all the way to the breaker box. Then it had a 10 gauge extension cord like 100 feet out to the stage where the band played. And I thought it would be really cool to keep a real heavy duty outside outlet like that out there for events and parties, and or if we're building out there, stuff like that. So it's super overkill, but there should be very low voltage drop over a very long run using this. Eventually my phone ran out of both batteries and storage space, but we got it done. Finally, the next morning it was spray foam time. The prep work was intense. The masking and the drop cloths and everything, this took forever. But once they finally started spraying, I understood why it was so important to cover everything so thoroughly. So on our shoestring budget, why did we go with closed cell spray foam? As far as we could tell, it was the only way to solve so many problems with our roof. We have this vaulted ceiling, which looks super cool, right? Definitely, we didn't want to change that. But how do we keep the heat from escaping through it? There's only so much conventional insulation that you can put in a rafter cavity. And then you have to think about having even more space inside of there for venting it somehow.
Closed cell spray foam got us meeting code requirements for our value in the ceiling. And it's also really watertight and seals everything up there. So you don't need a venting scheme to deal with moisture accumulating in that cavity. On top of that, spray foam is known to add a lot of strength to a structure, which is really nice because these are only 2x6 rafters up here, and we definitely have some extreme snow loads in our area during the winter. It was great to see him probing the thickness of the foam to make sure we were getting what we paid for. I didn't get any footage of them trimming off all the excess spray foam, but that had to be the hardest part.
These guys worked so hard and we really appreciated it, and the whole thing turned out awesome.
So now with the spray foam done, we can continue on with the rest of our build. We can put some walls up, maybe even get some heat going in here. So if you want to see what we do next, hit subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.